None of that during the recorder. All right, we're live on that recording there, and we are recording for this. So, 5, 4, 3.
All right, everybody, welcome to Inside the Locker. We are one short. Adam Charles is not at the house tonight. We're recording this late on a Monday. This is the Thanksgiving week special. With me, as per usual, Logan Yuri on the boards. That's me. JC De Leon.
What's up?
Elliot Fontanet.
How y'all doing?
Penny the dog in the background.
Whoa.
Lot to unpack tonight, so we'll just jump right into it. Now, first and foremost, gentlemen, we're going to get into all the Thanksgiving week sports. This is it's a very weird week, year in and year out, because this is the week when your calendar is loaded with social events, sporting events. You're in like the fight for your fantasy football life, and it's just all kind of condensed into this weird week where you always feel like you're a half step behind.
Thank you, because I feel like I'm the only one.
And you're tired, and
you should relax. It's Thanksgiving, motherfucker. Do you work?
Do you work? They're always just like a step off. Wednesday night. This was popularized by an Onion article a couple years ago, but there's that Wednesday night before Thanksgiving where you go to the bars in your hometown. And it's just kind of weird, and you see your high school friends, and it's just kind of that's kind of where we're at. And
they're all oddly racist.
Everyone's a little bit racist. There's always like a fight. There's always just a weird situation. You see somebody that was mean to you in high school, and now they're being nice, but they're like in a bad place in life. It's kind of a cliche, but that's America. Yes.
Ain't that America?
Speaking of cinematic cliches, I did want to talk briefly because one of the things that you do also during the holiday season is you have to go to the movies with your family because
people don't want to talk to each other.
People don't want to talk because it's just like, let's just everybody shut the fuck up. Let's go to the movies.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up. Let's go to the movies. You guys actually have seen some of the big ones. Now I want to start very quickly. We're going to talk about these very briefly because these are not general interest movies. These are movies if you're stuck with children.
Yes.
If you have to see if you got like little kids, little cousins, and this is common. This happens to all of us. You got to go see a family-friendly
You got
film.
little speed bumps around you.
Good Dinosaur or Victor Frankenstein, are those worth your $10 in popcorn?
Victor Frankenstein is not. It's a weird retelling of the Frankenstein tale you're familiar with, focusing on. It's weird because it's called Victor Frankenstein. It's actually focusing on Igor, and it's a very different type of Igor than you've seen before, played by Daniel Radcliffe. And it's basically told from his point of view and how Victor Frankenstein rescued him from the circus where he was like the freak that everybody treated like shit. But Igor,
so is it you're a scientist, Igor? Do they have that scene anytime?
No, not a scientist, but Igor is like, as a hobby, he practices medicine and he knows like everything there is to know about medicine.
Because it's a hobby, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, but in general, so it's just not enjoyable. And if you see this movie, it's going to be a chore.
Right. And I feel like you mentioned those because you know that we saw those tonight, but last week, just to jump in, I did see Creed.
I was going to get to that.
And
I can't wait to see that.
Now, first and foremost, Creed, Michael B. Jordan, director of Fruitvale Station. Don't assume that just because your wife is interested in seeing that movie, that she knows that Apollo Creed dies. Don't assume that happens because you might accidentally spoil it for her, and she might actually get a little upset.
You sound like Charlie.
Like someone at this table. So how was Creed?
Creed is fantastic. It's fantastic.
I
I thought
see
it was
that.
going to be
That's great.
based on the trailers.
I'm getting goosebumps hearing you talk. I'm so happy.
The buzz coming out of it was that Sly could actually get a supporting member. I wasn't necessarily buying that. I figured that was just some of the hype from seeing it early, but he does turn in a really great performance. Like I don't know what it is about that Rocky character that brings out Sylvester Stallone, but it's heart-wrenching.
It feels like when he plays Rocky, he's just playing himself.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a part he channels like of being an up-and-comer director. Like just he goes back to that, like that synesthesia gets back to him, and he's like,
right.
I'm back in it. It's not how many times you get back up. It's like Balboa was good.
Yeah.
That was a legitimately good movie.
I legitimately enjoyed Rocky Balboa. I really, I love all the Rocky movies. Every
Even 5?
Yeah, I saw it. I was like 13 when I saw it, man, and I enjoyed it then. But yeah, I like all of those Rocky movies. I connect with them. And it's just Sly being Sly.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
So it is good.
Everything I love about sports movies, everything kind of why we started doing this podcast. Like go see Creed.
And plus, it has Michael B. Jordan. Like he's amazing.
Friday Night Lights, everything that he's done is fantastic.
He's really good. If I could be hypercritical about him in one sense, in that he is really fantastic in this role, but for the most part, he is kind of Michael B. Jordan, and Michael B. Jordan is just kind of a really charming actor in general.
Yeah.
One of these days, and I said this on the review, like on the Oneofus.net review, one of these days, he's going to completely lose himself in a role, and it's going to be fucking awesome when he does. It wasn't quite here, and I hoped it would be, but it's still really good.
You waiting for his Heath Ledger like Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still getting Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of know what you mean. He has that sort of very distinct underdog, kind of chip on his shoulder person.
Yeah, you're waiting for that like Brad Pitt Fight Club.
Right.
Because Brad Pitt had played Brad Pitt, who played Brad Pitt for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So all right, so Elliot, Good Dinosaur.
Good Dinosaur. Okay, well Brian.
This is another family one, to be sure.
Yeah, one of the
One of the family.
Brian Salisbury, Into the Locker alum and founder, saw it as also. He liked it a lot more than I did. I'm a huge animation fan, and it was a very solid movie, very well done. It's going to be enjoyed by kids, and it's a perfect Thanksgiving movie if you don't have anything to do, you don't want to talk to your family, you don't want to sing Adele hello to them to get past the racist discussions, then I recommend going and seeing this with your cousins, because you'll like it and you'll enjoy it, and it'll make you want to go to Yosemite Park, because that's where it's set. It's set in the Yosemite Valley about like 63 million years ago with dinosaurs, and it's really well done, but it's not anything special. It's not The Incredibles. It's not Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
It's not approaching Aladdin, anything like that. It's not approaching Totoro. It's just sort of doing what it needs to do, is paint by the numbers, and it's like watching the Houston Rockets play.
Paint by the numbers, the Houston Rockets. I like that because, yeah, you're right. I mean, I think if you're an adult, you're only going to see this movie if it's a transcendent movie where people are like, hey, you gotta see this.
Yeah, because like I watch animation. Literally, I watch animation every day.
Like
I love animation, and I'm always looking for something good. And I'm not talking about just like Cowboy Bebop, anything like avant-garde. I'm talking about something that's like at least I'm not supposed to see it coming.
Yeah.
And this is like every beat you see coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
It's really well done, but it's just sort of boring.
Paint by the numbers. All right.
That's what I said.
Enough said. Big week though, and obviously it's Thanksgiving week, so I figured we should kind of just go in a circle, have a little thought experiment, and get into what we are thankful for this holiday season. So I'll go first. I'll kick it over to Logan. We'll go in a circle. Maybe we'll go around the circle once or twice. I am thankful for Tony Romo. Tony Romo.
That's a good Cowboys fan right there. He looks at facts.
Cowboys 3-0 with Tony Romo this season.
What's the record the rest of the time?
0-7 without Tony Romo.
I just imagine him walking into the locker room. Y'all just live here. I run this shit.
It's but what I've enjoyed is, obviously if you don't like the Cowboys, you're not going to like the Cowboys, and that's fine. But people that like the Cowboys, and I have less patience for people who are like Eagles and Washington and New York fans than I like. That's fine. I get it. You have your team. We don't like each other during football season.
You don't have good taste, whatever.
I can't stand the Cowboys fan that's like, Tony Romo sucks. Tony Romo sucks, man. That guy sucks.
He kept y'all winning for years.
That guy sucks. I can't. And that guy finally had to just sit down.
Shut up.
He just had to sit down. There were literally people. My next door neighbor Kenny, who's like kind of a just he is a white guy that wears tank tops and walks his basset hound around the neighborhood. And he has this tank top that has like a little grill on it and it says "fired up." He's just
That's pretty awesome.
Just like a real Texan guy, and yeah, when Romo went down, he's like, "Shit, man, they played better with we. Romo sucks, dude. I keep telling you, Romo sucks." So all those guys, just had to really eat it. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady. I'm saying he's a top 10 quarterback, and he can do a lot.
You're saying that'll do, pig. That'll do.
So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for.
Did you echo Jerry Jones's drunken sentiments, where he's just like, Tony Romo's a miracle?
Not quite. But
Did Jerry Jones turn into Charles Barkley?
Slurring the word
miracle. Logan, what about you? What do you think?
I'm thankful for my new family here at Inside the Locker, getting a chance to play with you guys, hang out, and record this. No, that's cheesy stuff. I am thankful for that too.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I'm thankful for college football. It never ceases to be entertaining and chaotic and fun and heartbreaking breaking and all these things, and it remains my number one spot. And Penny agrees with me.
Penny completely agrees.
Or disagrees. I can't tell what.
Yeah, I think college football I feel like it's better than ever.
Yeah.
With apologies to Ohio State fans, just the game of knockout that we're seeing. I've never seen. I mean, think about it. This was the BC era. We'd be headed toward Iowa against Clemson. Nobody believes that's something that nobody believes.
I guess actually that leads into a good point. It's like I'm thankful for the college football playoffs.
Yeah. Well, so it's like I love the way Iowa is just trolling everybody. It just keeps winning. It keeps winning. It keeps kind of making a mockery out of the idea that you have to be like a perfect undefeated team to win a title. I'm thankful that you're seeing more teams having to take on tougher competition earlier in the season. And it's great. JC, what about you?
Thankful that not just this year, but the past couple of years, what used to be, the NBA used to be not so relevant until March or April. It's really kind of turning into, with all the drama and storylines and things like that. It's becoming a season-long thing.
Just the Clippers on fire right now. Yeah. Just completely and watching the Warriors do something special. I know that I'm not a big, I've never been a big Curry guy. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. But still, you're right. It's history. It's like amazing. Yeah. Shit, you're right. There's like 5 different storylines.
Because you could look at any angle, like loss amidst the fanfare for the Warriors. It's kind of motivating LeBron a little bit, and he's kind of having a year, similar year he had a couple of years ago, getting after his teammates and things like that. He's sort of flying under the radar, and I appreciate that. I feel like when he's flying under the radar like that, like you see it in a lot of guys. Chris Paul is also kind of, a lot of people are upset at all the attention that Curry's getting, so it's kind of motivating these guys to play.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we have some breaking news here that is not necessarily breaking, but I did want to very quickly address this. We're on the eve of the Star Wars movie.
Yes. That is breaking.
So Mark Hamill, did you hear what he said today?
He said, is he like under an NDA to not say anything?
Well, he is, but what he said was he's growing out.
Are you going to stop him?
He said today, he's growing out his beard for Star Wars 8, Episode 8.
There you go.
Well, that tells you all you need to know.
So that's one semi-non-spoiler.
God, that's a gigantic spoiler. It's a gigantic spoiler. Okay, so he's
the Jedi Master.
So it doesn't. It's just and that's man, it just grosses you out, doesn't it? It's like all these movies are going to. It's just like the Marvel universe where these movies exist to like move around chess pieces.
I think that like they've already pretty much come out and said that they're releasing a new Star Wars movie every other year.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
It's going to happen for it, as long as they can.
Like they paid $4 billion to George Lucas for the rights. They need to make that money back.
Mm-hmm.
And Disney, the mouse doesn't fuck around. He's going to get his money. So it's sort of
cut a bitch if he has to.
I tell you, it may give people fatigue, but I think it's a smarter way they're releasing these now because it sort of mimics. I don't know if you know about the Toys to Life phenomenon with Disney Infinity Skylanders.
Mm-hmm.
Disney Infinity is a really smart product because what Disney used to do is make a different game for every movie that came out. It would just be shitty. Now all they're doing for a different movie is just releasing a new character to go into this game. So for Good Dinosaur, they released like a little character, the main character of Good Dinosaur. It's sort of the same thing. It's like these Marvel movies. It's like, okay, I got a new property. Instead of having to promote it, all sold just this new property because like Ant-Man wouldn't get a following.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, Ant-Man, it's in the same universe as Captain America, and the Falcon's going to show up, so maybe he might show up.
Yeah.
So same thing with Star Wars. Like they're like, look, if we have a shared universe, we can make some money.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually leads me back to what I'm thankful for. I am thankful for streaming media because as somebody who came up in the 90s when anime was extremely hard to come by, like I had to go to the library and download stuff on Real Player to watch a Dragon Ball Z episode, and like had to suffer through cable and all that bullshit. Like I'm stuck right now I watch anime on Crunchyroll. I get to watch Jessica Jones on Netflix and Gossip Girl, which is good and amazing, and I'm Chuck Bass.
I'm not here to judge you.
But yeah, I feel like it's something that needs to be expressed more, that people take streaming media in the internet for fucking granted, and it's fucking amazing.
Oh, I absolutely love it, and on top of that, a lot of people love their like Blu-ray and DVD collections, but I'm thankful to get rid of that shit. I'm thankful to reduce some of that clutter, and something like Netflix streaming allows me to kind of open that up, or even stuff like having a Plex library. I can like burn that stuff into like a hard drive and just have that stuff running directly to my.
But it works both ways because like if you're a collector of Blu-rays and DVDs, you'll get more cachet because you do have that shelf.
Yeah.
Because people when they see that they know that's not by accident. You really just want to be able to watch Man on Fire at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna have my fucking Man on Fire. That's gonna happen.
You're not taking that off my fucking Netflix. I guess one last thing that I think before, and I just want to talk about this a little bit, and that's look, I'm in 12 fantasy football leagues.
It's a problem. Damn, dude.
In every single one of those leagues, I am in contention for the playoffs, and if not already in the playoffs, going deep. So I'm thankful for the season that I've had because obviously you don't get that far without quite a bit of luck. But
I think that's skill. It's not luck.
there's a lot of skill, but there's a lot of luck involved as well. That said,
Apparently, he listened to his own advice in the when we were recording the tips for fantasy.
Getting high off his own supply.
well, look, I'm not playing. I'm either in the playoffs or on the bubble for the playoffs. In fact, I think there's only tonight. I won a very critical game, so I'm going to go to 7-4 and simultaneously knock out my friend Sean. Who, if you're listening, Sean, you can suck my dick.
Took it hard.
And I apologize.
Adam in our league.
Yeah, and Adam, you can suck JC's dick. So
Fantasy podcast.
sorry. We'll edit that out. We'll edit out the dick sucking joke. So anyway, it's not even a joke. We're just a terrible.
I'm not editing
statement
it.
of purpose. Here's the point, guys. It's not even. I'm not going to sit here and talk about my team. No one cares. But here's what we care about. If you're listening to this, it's too late. Or this is when you're most. This is when you're most dialed in. This is when you're loading up supplies. This is like you're about to go into this really long week, Thursday to Monday.
Avoiding
Thanksgiving games, avoiding your travel. You might be traveling. You might have kids. You might be in a. Do your due diligence because this is a very critical week. So here are just some quick tips for surviving the fantasy playoffs. First and foremost, the people that you need to make sure you add when you hit the waiver wire. This show is going to go live Tuesday. Waiver wire is going Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. Do your due diligence. Get yourself these players. If you have any free agent budget left, if it's one of those kind of leagues, throw all your money behind that. Number one free agent you have to have, if he's by some twist of fate still in the waiver wire, that's Thomas Rawls. Marshawn Lynch is probably done for the year. That abdominal strain, that sports hernia that he's got, probably going to keep him out the rest of the regular season. Thomas Rawls is a difference maker. Every year this happens, we've seen people like Jordan Todman. We've seen people like Zach Stacy. We've seen people like last year with C.J. Anderson. He's going to be a monstrous force going forward. He needs to be on your team, and you need to be starting. I would start him above people like, Doug
Devontae Freeman?
Devontae Freeman. Yeah, it's hard to say.
But he might be concussed next week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see. Another guy, remember, all those Justin Forsett owners, Buck Allen, Javorius Allen, he is the guy in Baltimore for the rest of the season. He's going to get a lot of touches. Make sure you get a piece of him.
Yeah, because it's not like Matt Schaub is going to throw to people.
Well,
there's nobody to throw to.
Nobody. More fringe guys, Ahmad Bradshaw, Tevin Coleman. You need starting running backs. Even Jordan Todman. These are all players that you need to just be collecting. I would. This is. I don't know. I mean, I think collect your players. Do your due diligence. If for whatever reason the trade deadline is not over, you're at a position right now. If you're contending for the playoffs or if you're in the playoffs, the only thing that matters is making your starting lineup a big, beefy. This is a point that was made over at Oneofus.com. So I gotta shout out my buddy Charles, who was the managing editor of Oneofus.com.
Attribution.
No matter what you do, make a trade to bolster your starting lineup. That means if you got 4 good wide receivers, trade 2 of them for 1 good running back. All that matters is that your starting lineup improves. At this point, depth does good. In fact, it's actually kind of a deterrent. If you got
bye week's done.
Bye weeks are over with. if you got a couple of like good tight ends, or if you got a couple of good, you can't use them all. You can't take that with you. This is when you got to just get rid of everything and go all in, and bolster your starting lineup.
So I want to know what your tips are for bribing the people who aren't in the playoffs to get their best players.
Well,
That's
it
what
starts
I
with a text message. I think, anyone that's played on Yahoo or ESPN, when you get an email that someone has offered you a trade, you got to figure that has like a 5% historic return rate on success. I mean, nothing's going to get done unless you pick up the phone, unless you get in touch with somebody directly.
You send flowers to his wife.
Send flowers to the wife.
You buy me stuff on Amazon.
Ethics are interesting, right? Because, like we were talking about this earlier before we came on, it's a shitty thing to do to just sort of like rig it, play spoiler, throw your players.
That's awesome.
Because then we get into collusion, but
it's not collusion. I just want to see I just want to watch the world burn.
you want to play God.
That too.
Yeah, so you're saying you're the bane of.
It's like if I can't win, I want to determine who wins.
Make sure you send a lot of like.
It's your powers.
So how do you determine who wins?
I will fucking just flip a coin if I have to.
No. Here's the other thing. I think the most underrated part of this part of the season. And what's fun about a fantasy football league traditionally is that you're in a league with people that you know and care about, right? So there's a little game theory involved. So you got to get inside people's heads. And we should all kind of go around and say what we do to get inside people's heads. Number one, send out an email to the whole league when you pull off a trade, subject line for immediate release, and then the email is just a YouTube video of like a supervillain laughing. Just send that to the league.
The full Ruxin.
And just send that.
It's just a Rickroll.
Record memos on your phone, like saying like happy, supportive things, or like mean-spirited things, and then just send memos to people in your league directly via text message. Maybe bench all of your players until it's just before game day, so the whole week they don't know who they're going to play. And then 5 minutes before the game, you just start all your players, and then they just see what's in front of them.
Huh. That's interesting.
If you have a Monday night player and a Sunday afternoon player, and they play the same position, and you want to start one guy, start the other guy in your lineup. And then once the noon games start, flip that. So the guy in his head is like, okay, I know who he's starting. I'm not going to worry about it. And then the 3 o'clock game happens, and Thomas Rawls goes off, and he's like, shit, Thomas Rawls went off. Fuck, man. Good thing I didn't have to deal with that.
Mean.
And then he gets home Sunday night, and he goes, fuck, Thomas Rawls, but 200 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I want to know how you manage all this stuff with 12 teams.
Well, I don't have any children.
And a job and a wife.
Well, you do have Penny, technically.
But honestly, it's because I don't have kids. I mean, when you have kids, you have to put a lot of time and effort into them, and I think that's a beautiful thing, and maybe that'll happen someday. But right now, the fact is,
Your fantasy football is your kids.
my fantasy. I have 12 children,
Catholic rabbit.
and they're all my fantasy. So, what about you guys?
And they're all winners.
What are some game theory suggestions for our listeners? That just some ideas that just hey, you do this, and it'll really get inside your.
I go into full-on bribery.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. Like, if you want to win and you have somebody in your league that's as unethical as you, find out what they want and give it to them. I'm just saying, like, how bad do you want to win? How much is it worth to you? Because I have a very small price. You buy me a $5 Blu-ray, take my players. I don't care.
Done.
Well, there's always an Elliott. Yeah, there's always an Elliott in the league, and I think there's something to that. I don't know. I don't know what the ethics are
Because
there.
I am turning something that had no value to me to something that has value.
Yeah.
So I win.
And you think of those like those
Something tangible.
Yeah.
those like college deals where like there was one guy in your league that was like just such a fuck off like Elliott, and you like trade. There'd be like a 3 a.m. trade after like a party or something, and then you wake up the next day. I don't know, but I think that's out of bounds. I mean, like, what can you actually do to really get inside your?
Okay, well, that may be out of bounds. But what you can do is secretly collude. And who are you? I'm not kidding. Who are you friends with in your league better than other people in your league? And you're gonna keep that shit quiet. And what you're gonna want to do is you want a dummy trade. You want to arrange a 3-team, 4-team trade, saying, well, because you need a fall guy. So you want to have, I'm going to trade the player that my friend really wants to X, and I know that X will trade that to my friend. So you have an interface, and it's not just direct. So you have that plausible deniability.
Well, so like one thing I tried earlier this year when the Dolphins fired Joe Philbin and moved up Dan Campbell. Lamar Miller was a guy that I've liked for years, and every year I try to draft him, and every year I miss him. And so this year I was like, I have a feeling Dan Campbell's going to give the ball to Lamar Miller. So I tried to trade him from Brian, original founder of this podcast, because he doesn't pay that much attention to fantasy football. So I thought, because now he has a girlfriend who loves it, and so now he pays more attention to it, and he goes, "No, I'm not giving you Lamar Miller." And that week, he proceeds.
What if it's like a Jenny Kevin situation?
Speaking of Brian Salisbury,
she's not in our league, so
I just want to say shout out to Brian Salisbury. I beat him at 21 points this week.
Yes,
Yeah.
He is one of the only people I've beaten this year. Because I am 2-8.
Yeah, well, that's it.
This would have been his last year, but thankfully the girlfriend he has is going to keep him in it next year.
Yeah,
and I'll see if I can get her into our ATX league.
That's a good woman. I'm actually curious also about another scenario. So what if you're in a work fantasy league and your main competition is your boss?
You lose.
Yeah. No.
You lose.
No, I relish the.
Man, but here's the thing. You can turn stuff that does not matter, like it really doesn't, into something that can help your career. And what you do is you gin him up. You say, man, this is gonna be a good game. But then what you do is you say, shit, I forgot to set my lineup because I was working. He wins. He thinks you work hard. Boom. You're angry with your boss for the right reasons.
That's kind of devious.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm a lawyer. This is what I do.
I forgot to set my lineup because I was working too hard. I don't know.
It's
man.
the anti. It's not Kevin. Who's the other guy in the league? Mark the Plus. Pete.
Yeah.
The anti-Pete move.
Yeah.
You guys, that's hilarious.
It's Kevin, because the name of the team is Pete Top, Kevin Bottom.
All right, we should probably move on.
Kevin is Jenny's husband.
We should probably move on a little bit. All right, it's again the undercard of all this. It's a huge NFL week. You got your fan. Now again, the last thing I just want to be very clear. Hey guys, you're about to go into a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, a 6-day war that starts right now. Pick up your players, bolster your starting lineup, troll your friends.
Yes.
But above all, I know you're traveling. I know you have family in town. I know your routine is off. You're not sitting at the office on a Thursday afternoon. So do your due diligence. There's no excuse. Set your lineups.
I wake up
Tinker with your lineups. Do not forget. That's inexcusable. All right. On a college football tip. Boy, we got some turnover and we got some turmoil in the coaching ranking. And we probably should have led the show with this. We're recording this on a Monday afternoon news breaking that Les Miles, his tenure at LSU may be coming to an end. Elliot, I want to ask you, because again, this is a little bit like the Mac Brown situation. He's been there a long time. He won a title, beloved.
2 times. From
a national point of view, he's seen as one of the guys. He was a candidate to go to Michigan. He's done a lot of memorable things, but the fan base seems to be kind of tired.
The thing with the fan base is that he has lost to Alabama too many times straight. It feels the problem with Les Miles, and I love Les Miles. I think he's a great coach, and he's entertaining, which is what I care about more than anything. Because I don't want to be a part of a fan base that expects to win every 5 years.
Sure,
honestly, because I think those are shitty fan bases. Like Alabama, I think is shitty. I think Penn State's shitty. I think
Penn State doesn't expect to win anything. They're shitty for
yes, they do.
reasons.
If you talk to Penn State fans, now that their fucking Saint Joe Pa is gone, they expect to win. If you look at who's the other one? Fucking Ohio State. I don't want to be a part of that fan base. I want a fan base that's we're gonna have fun. We're gonna win about 8-9 games a year, but we're gonna have fun. But LSU is turning into something else, and he's just getting pushed out because he has been losing the big game every year, and it's frustrating. And he gave LSU fans, and honestly, I put this on him because he's a coach and he calls the fucking plays. He gave us the biggest heartbreak. This is probably I'm not kidding here. This is the 7th biggest heartbreak I've ever had in my life.
Before you go into that heartbreak, I got to put on a soundtrack for you. please continue.
Technical difficulties.
Like seriously, like I've had some tough times in my life, but the 7th worst one in my life was that 2011 game against Alabama where they didn't cross the fucking 50-yard line, and it wasn't because we didn't have the athletes. It was that he did not say, you know, I think I should just figure out some different plays or develop a quarterback. Like he's the anti, what's his name, the guy from A&M, Kevin Sumlin. He does not develop quarterbacks.
I think it's also particularly painful because considering like your number one rival is the guy who you replaced, the guy left your school to go to the NFL and you took over.
And here's the thing, I'm not kidding here. I would punch Saban in the fucking face if I saw him face to face. I'm not even playing around because he's a dick. You want to go to the NFL and you want to come back to college, that is cool. You want to come back to the same conference, sort of a dick move, still fine. Don't come back to the same fucking division of the same conference. That makes you a dickhole. Mm-hmm. And he can fucking burn in hell.
He's still probably the best coach in the game right now.
Yeah.
He's not the best coach because he's not in the NFL.
Well, so speaking of what ifs, all right. So let's say this is Les Miles.
Yes, it's not. Let's say he's going to get bought out. He's going to get like a $10 million payday.
$15 million.
$15 million.
Assistants are no, $2 million.
So what happens next for LSU? Who comes into LSU?
They're looking for Jimbo Fisher.
Is that really a promotion for Jimbo Fisher?
I think it's a promotion because
it can be.
Unlike Florida State and unlike Alabama, Louisiana is one of those rare states where you can lock down the entire state. Like Saban's been poaching out Louisiana lately, but if you can get like a program where the quarterbacks really know they're going to be able to play, and these receivers know they're going to be able to play before they get to NFL, because the LSU NFL receivers are really good, but they don't play when they're LSU. Jimbo Fisher, because like Les Miles has sort of locked down Louisiana for the last 10 years. It's starting to wane because he's losing Alabama. Jimbo Fisher can lock down. If you can lock down Louisiana, you have a path to the championship every year because it's one of the best recruiting grounds in the country.
I mean, you can say the same thing for the state of Texas.
No, you can't. You can't because
see Kevin Sumlin.
No, but you can't because Texas has UT, A&M, TCU, Baylor, Tech. Alabama has Alabama and Auburn. Florida has Florida State and Florida. Georgia and Miami. Georgia has Georgia Tech. Louisiana only has LSU.
So you're saying it's easy. So you're saying the job theoretically is easier.
It's easier to recruit because.
What you like Louisiana Lafayette?
Fuck Louisiana.
Ooh la la.
And fuck Louisiana Tech.
Tulane.
The only thing good to ever come out of Louisiana Tech was a fucking Chevy.
All right. So, and we just want to address this really quickly. So, Charlie Strong rumors that he might go to Miami.
Well,
he should go to Miami.
But before we go to that, I just want to say, like, if college football loses Les Miles, that's going to be a fucking tragedy.
That's fun.
He is one of the like better characters in college football.
I want to be a commentator.
Yeah, no, I want him to like replace Lee Corso at college.
What's that guy's name on SEC on CBS? Like Wendell. Like whoever the people who call the SEC games, he can replace them.
Yeah.
But Les Miles is only
he could pick up something.
Yeah, he's only 62 years old.
Which is it's up there.
See, and this is how you know he's a head coach, because if somebody told me, "Hey, you're 62, Elliot, and we're gonna give you $15 million just so you don't have to work here," I'd fuck off and just do nothing for the rest of my life.
You got yourself a deal.
Or you could take the $15 million and then take someone else's $5 million.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and potentially he's still a hell of a coach. He can still go and be successful and like maybe even win a national championship somewhere.
And he's still healthy. Like he's still a very virile guy.
There's grass to eat at other stadiums. Yeah. So
do you ever feel like the polls in college football set up teams just so that we can have like a nice matchup? Like you. Alabama, LSU with the top 4 matchup that we probably shouldn't have been at the week.
SEC knows what it's doing.
We're headed toward an Alabama-Florida SEC title game. It's going to be a top 10 matchup. But nobody thinks
Alabama's going to just fucking. They're going to wear them like a lampshade.
And it's heartbreaking because Ole Miss has beaten Alabama and LSU, and
they lost to Memphis.
Had a chance. Had they beat Memphis, they'd be controlling their own fucking destiny.
That's too fucking bad.
They would have frozen Alabama and LSU from the SEC West.
You know what?
And
as somebody who hates Ole Miss, in every aspect of Ole Miss, from their school to their fucking mascot to their obsession with the Confederate flag. Fuck Ole Miss. Fuck Ole Piss. They can go fuck themselves and die in a fucking fire.
But the fighting that bars.
Yeah, that would have been fantastic. Now, today, Charlie Strong, during his weekly press conference, he said, that was actually a big pivot. Basically, another one is Charlie Strong going to bolt Texas and leave Miami? Now, he'd have every reason to.
He should.
He's in a situation where he's his guy, the guy that brought him in, got fired. You know how it is with work. Your boss gets fired, new management comes in, you're not essential to the operation. You go on Monster.com.
You have to suffer through.
You start fixing up your LinkedIn profile.
Your LinkedIn profile, yeah, exactly.
It's like I would do something like that, and like the process is basically either you leave or you just like eat shit until they realize you're essential.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, okay, we shouldn't. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't fire you. It's like, yeah, motherfucker.
But at the same time, if you're head coach of University of Texas, that's a much more high-profile job. That's a much bigger deal than if you're just kind of some paper pusher.
Well, it is. And Charlie Strong. I mean, the other argument is, and to be very clear, the job is easier at Miami. He just recruits out of his state.
Yeah, which he's already familiar with.
Which he's already the Texas had the Florida Five come in this year. A bunch of kids from Florida. So you recruit within your state. You're beloved over there. He is the player. I mean, he was recruiting Florida from Louisville. He's the charismatic guy that mom wants to send you to. He's the father figure. It's just a no-brainer in terms of the fit. That said, and this is something that Bucky Gottlieb said, or Bucky Godbolt. Bucky Godbolt. Godbolt is the Doug. Anyway.
Is he he's the morning guy?
The morning guy on the horn.
104.9 the horn.
And he made this point, and I think it's worth repeating. This is bigger than Charlie Strong. This is about being an African American coach at the University of Texas, representing, making history, being an example. And whether or not you believe that or not isn't the case. The point is Charlie Strong knows that. Charlie Strong believes that. Charlie Strong sees that actively, and I think he feels added pressure to stay at Texas. And today on Monday, he came out and said, I don't run from anything. So I would be very surprised if he bolted.
There's also the issue of the $15 million left on his contract. He'd have to be bought out for $15 million too, and who's going to fit that bill?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jojo Mayo could fit that bill on a.
Just like let me get my checkbook. My pocketbook.
But I tell you,
jacket.
Bucky had a good point because like that is something like it's what I do is not remotely the same what Charlie Strong does, but like being an African American lawyer, like I have made decisions against my better career because I don't want to fucking run from things. I'm gonna stick it out, and if he's on that, he's not gonna go anywhere. They're gonna have to get him out of that job until he knows he's successful.
Yeah,
because like I have stayed at jobs until I fucking know that I have done what I wanted to do, I'm not leaving, even if I'm not getting paid more than I could get paid somewhere else. So like that's a very, I would have never thought about it like that. That's a very smart insight from Bucky. But I tell you, I hate to say this, but if he was not an African American coach, he should go to Miami.
Yeah.
Because he is going to be on such a bubble next year. Every game.
I think that he is putting himself in a position which I think that he's doing the right thing by doing this. He would be in a better position in Miami, but he's also putting himself in a position to fail pretty spectacularly because the current situation at Texas is not a good one. There's a lot of politics going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of difficulties trying to figure out their identity as a team.
Let's just be real. There's a lot of a big part of that back behind the scenes stuff is that he's not a white coach. And I'm telling you right now, like there was what's his name? McCombs was like, well, he could be a position coach.
Yeah, he said that.
I don't think he and like I gotta tell you, like I've heard that shit about my dad my entire life. I've heard that about my uncle. I heard it about me. It's like if you're the best at your job as a minority, even if you're the best, they will promote you. They want you to be a level below what you should be. Like, cause like, oh, we don't know. Like when Obama was running, it was, he would make a good cabinet secretary.
Being a vice president.
I don't know about president.
Well, the Obama thing, there was a lot of like, oh, he should wait. He should wait. which nobody does.
So I mean, like, and I'm not trying to cop it out, but like, I think the thing you get with being a minority in America is there is no margin for error. You either fucking win, and by win I mean just run up the score.
Yep.
Or you just get fucking fired. That's all it is. I'm not saying it's so much easier, like I don't know, to be white in America, but I feel like I've seen this look. This is at least a little bit of a margin of error.
Yeah.
Whereas like I have the best results at my place, and there's like that. I better have those results.
Yeah.
I better keep on getting them.
Totally, man. All right. And lastly, and this is the final piece of the puzzle. No, it's not. But it is another key piece to the college carousel, and that's Chip Kelly. You know, where do you see him going? I think it's very clear that the situation in Philadelphia is not going to pan out. I think it's very clear that is a comprehensive failure. You know, it just did not work for him. I just you know, maybe in a couple of years he can go back and give it another go. But the notion of having guys fit his system, just is not going to work.
It isn't even going into this season with all the questionable moves that he made. I was like, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because he won 20 games his first 2 years. But yeah, I'm throwing in the towel. I was wrong about that one.
But where does he end up?
I mean, the rumor is, and this is probably the least likely of the ones we've discussed so far, but if Charlie Strong leaves Texas for Miami, Texas could afford Chip Kelly.
Yep.
And people like the idea of him instituting that system here with these athletes, and think it would work really well here.
What about Mizzou? They're looking for a new coach.
Well, there's a lot of places that are looking for a new coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
USC, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
Chip Kelly's going to go to. He's going to come to a Texas, or he's going to come to a USC. Or
Well,
LSU.
I think it also.
Oh my God.
I think that these two things kind of really feed in pretty well, though. So I mean, like, if we're talking like recruiting battles, we're talking about bringing in talent, and we're talking about race issues. You know, like if Charlie Strong is an African American, leaves the University of Texas, or gets let go, or fired, or pushed out, or any of those things, then all of a sudden one of their biggest in-state rivals, Texas A&M, they have another like black head coach right there, and so like that's going to sway a lot of recruits.
Yeah, well,
you know, so like, does the University of Texas like do like the boosters and the people behind the curtain have that kind of understanding that?
because I can tell you the talk that those recruits are going to get from there. It's like it's not the current generation; it's their fathers and their grandfathers are going to be like,
oh yeah, absolutely. No, but I think that's a
you better go with that. You better go with that brother. Like that's going to be the talk.
But I agree with everything you're saying. I just sincerely believe that Charles Strong is going to get his third year. He's going to get a chance to play this.
Oh yeah, and he absolutely should. I think if he does get forced out, or you know, leaves of his own volition, quote unquote, or whatever, like I think it would still be a mistake. And I think it's absurd the amount of people are saying that, oh, he's gone after this year. You know, even if they've had a down year.
I don't think he's down years. I think if he had lost that Oklahoma game.
Yeah.
But that Oklahoma game was such a feel-good win.
He has something to hang his head on. But, you know, again, the problem with Texas is that. Sorry, I just saw a funny tweet that while I explain this, I'm going to show it to you guys. Check out the side by side. But
I want to take a picture of that. Give me a second. I want to take a picture.
I'm going to retweet it.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. Did Raphael also kill a guy?
No. So, see, you're
So explain what it is.
all right. There's just so many college football jobs in this offseason. It's just really, truly unbelievable. All right. Let's get back on task here. I apologize for the listeners and for literally everybody that's not in this room right now, because that was just kind of like a waste of time. But it's
just like the rest of this podcast.
And as I'm talking, Elliot is like grabbing that picture and like
putting it on Facebook.
Putting it on
And I'm
Facebook.
retweeting it, and I'm saving it. This is glorious.
All right.
Explain what the picture of. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a side by side. Somebody took, for anybody that watched the Patriots play the Bills, Ray Lewis was in a top hat and trench coat. So someone put a picture of Ray Lewis side by side next to a picture of Raphael from the Ninja Turtles movie.
I do a thing every now and then. I do a hashtag sibling casting. To find two actors that look alike, and they could play brother, they could play siblings. And yeah, that would be good.
Great.
Oh my God, this like made my week. I'm good. This is what I'm thankful for.
Yeah. It started with my realization that like the ultimate sibling casting for me, and this is my own little sidebar. I never have these.
Yeah! Give into the
Would
sidebar.
be Robert Downey Jr., Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Javier Bardem.
Yes.
All three of them played brothers.
That would really work.
Yeah, they could be like in a Wes Anderson movie.
Yes.
So, all right. So we've talked a lot of abstract shit here, but let's talk about X's and O's. College football, big week of action. I'm going to run through these games very quickly because we have other things to discuss. Navy and Houston, 2 ranked teams on Friday morning at 11 a.m.
Well, if you love America, you have to go for Navy.
Yeah,
Fuck Houston.
but man, I'm liking what the Cougars are doing. Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to look. Can you guys name one player on Navy? I can't. So just
I can't name one player on
Uncle
Houston
Sam, Lady Liberty,
all right,
Theodore
so
Roosevelt.
yeah, you guys should watch. It'll be a fun one. But this is actually a game that I'm pretty excited
That will be a really good game. It's going to be a game that 2 years ago you would have been like, that's going to be a game?
2 ranked opponents. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Baylor at TCU. This is not the top 5 colossal pissing contest we thought we were going to get,
Yeah.
but it is a Friday evening showdown at 6:30.
I go with Baylor.
Well, these are 2 teams that, I mean, TCU really gave what it could to Oklahoma, but it's just down so many pieces. You have to like Baylor on the road. All right. What about, I think this is the trap game of all trap games. The most mediocre undefeated team in history, Iowa, traveling to Nebraska,
Oh, Iowa.
a school that's already beat Michigan State at 2:30. I don't think Iowa's. I really think Nebraska has a little something for Iowa. Iowa.
They're going to husk their corn.
I missed it. Is it in Lincoln?
It's in Lincoln.
It's in Lincoln.
Oh, okay,
Iowa's
okay.
only a 1.5 point favorite.
Oh.
Give me Nebraska. I'm telling you right now, the feel-good story of the year, the epic troll job of the year is not going to work. I like Nebraska.
Actually, like 1.5. I actually do kind of like Nebraska.
You know, give me Iowa. Like, it's just, this is not when they lose. They will lose, but not this time. Not this day.
All right, now again, just the rivalry games, right? Washington State. Believe it or not, the Cougars are ranked for the first time in what feels like several years.
Really?
Washington just not meeting expectations this year. Oregon State, 3 o'clock Central. Oregon, Vernon, whatever his name is, turning it on. Some impressive consecutive victories. Obviously, Oregon, you can expect to win big. Saturday, Clemson at South Carolina. That's another tough rivalry game.
Clemson's going to just wear them out.
They're going to destroy.
They're going to dab on them.
South Carolina lost to the Citadel this weekend.
Ohio State and Michigan. I'm just running through all of these. Ohio State and Michigan, North Carolina State, Bama, Auburn, UCLA, USC.
What's the Iron Bowl?
Florida State, Ole Miss, Mississippi, Notre Dame, Stanford, Oklahoma State. Holy fuck! I just want to see all these games.
And it's Elliott and Logan hate week.
Texas A&M against LSU, 2 teams that are not ranked.
Whoop.
Playing Saturday at 6:30. Arizona State, Cal.
The only reason I care about this game is that I'm not trying to be funny. I want Les Miles to go out on a win.
Yeah.
He deserves
That's
that.
what I mean. He's going to get a bowl game.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
All right. In any case, just a couple of things that I want to talk about a little bit, just very quickly. This is something that we just wanted to pause and acknowledge because it's been called the best thing that Marvel Studios has ever done. This is a series that people really love. Now, I haven't watched it, but it looks like Jessica Jones is really something that people need to be watching. Elliot,
if you get sick of college football over your holiday,
I have several reasons why I love Jessica Jones. 1, really good writing. 2, makes David Tennant into a villain, which I can't believe people hadn't done that before.
Yep.
Christian Ritter finally gets recognition he deserves. It's another Marvel property that's done right, and I hate to keep bringing it back to this, but this is my reality. It's the world I live in. That how I perceive things.
David Tennant was evil in Harry Potter.
Okay. Well, for me, it's the first time I have ever, in mainstream media, seen a sex scene with a black man and a white woman that is done that way. And it is not a fucking shy sex scene. It is like, man, y'all are getting it in. Jesus Christ. And like, it just.
Like, I hope I don't hurt you.
And yeah, and it's like, it's not a sexual thing. It's just politically, I liked watching it, and they didn't make a mention of it. It was just these two people are really into each other, and it just, for me, it was really big that it marked a point in our culture where it didn't have to be a special episode. It was just Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I mean, like
want to fuck each other, so they're gonna fuck the shit out of each other.
It's canon for the comics, but they also didn't shy away from that either. Which I think is a good.
Yeah, it was like, I'm saying, like, full disclosure, I as a teenage boy and as a guy in college, I have watched my share of porn. This was like the hottest sex scene I think I've ever seen, because like it's just Jesus Christ, Kristen Ritter and whoever's playing Luke Cage, like, y'all got at it.
I was watching that with my fiance, and I was like, we were like, whoa, this is
Jesus, wow.
So, yeah, okay, so why is this a good show?
Just the writing's really good. They really slow burn things, and they play with your perceptions.
So also, like, I would say that at least in the beginning, or at least for like the major, or at least kind of like the day-to-day stuff, it's not a superhero story. It's the story of a character who just happens to have superpowers.
I went through the first 3 episodes, and I'm not as familiar with the comics, and so it took me 3 episodes for me to finally like go on the internet. I'm like, what the hell does she do? And so finally, I was like, oh. And then I looked at Luke Cage's power. I was like, oh, okay. So they're not even really superpowers per se. They're just really strong as shit.
Yeah. Well, but also like it took until like episode 3 for like my fiance to be like, oh wait, she has superpowers. Like, yeah, that's kind of the point.
Yeah, she's sort of like sick of that.
It was kind of subtle.
And these have the benefit of, and I think Vince Gilligan with Breaking Bad was the first guy to really kind of figure this out, in that television doesn't have to be an episodic mini movie sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Vince Gilligan looks at the entire opus of Breaking Bad, and he's like, I made a 96-hour movie. Is what I did. And so the same thing with these Marvel, like Daredevil is essentially a 13-hour movie. This is going to be a 13-hour. Every Marvel Netflix series is going to be a 13-hour movie essentially, and that's something that the Avengers movies can't do.
Well, you know, that actually leads me to a good deep point. Like, there was a point on Saturday where I was reading a Marvel comic. I took a break from reading a Marvel comic to watch Jessica Jones, and then I played Disney Infinity to play Marvel characters, and they were all for different reasons. Like the comic book, I was trying to follow the comic storyline. Jessica Jones, I would watch that if it was from DC or wherever, because it's a good TV show. And Disney Infinity, like, I like the characters. So like Disney, after they bought Marvel, has done such a good job of diversifying that line and making it profitable. It's like, I want Disney to buy my life and just be like, hey, we're gonna get you a better job.
Yeah.
We're gonna like get all your shit together, Elliot. That's what we're gonna do.
I can't wait for the second season of Daredevil. One of my best friends went to film school with a guy who actually is working on the second season of Daredevil, and he shared with me behind the scenes pictures that I wasn't supposed to see that revealed one of the more popular Punisher Daredevil storylines that is a little more obscure. It's not, I mean, more popular.
Is this a scoop? Are you breaking something here?
I mean,
let's not break it because I can guess, and I'm not going to guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to say specifically which storyline, but it's one.
Oh, you got to say it.
No. We don't want to get this guy in trouble.
Yeah.
Why would you get in trouble?
This involves the Punisher and Daredevil, and one of the storylines that they have and how they meet.
Is it the? Okay. Yeah. Well, what? Why? Who are you getting in trouble?
Well, like on the off chance, like somebody who watches this, like puts it out somewhere, and it gets traced back.
Yeah, to your friend.
Yeah,
but then no one knows who your friend is.
Even then, like they could.
I'm sure they could trace them.
Yeah, that'd be good enough for a smart person with Facebook.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's
okay. I respect that. I see what you're saying. Yeah, somebody could say, wait a minute. Like, let's say that this blew up.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody could say, wait, who's this guy? Let me look at this guy's Facebook. This guy's friends with Bob Johnson,
who's on the fucking set.
Hey, Bob, you're fired. But what we can reveal and confirm is that this Daredevil and Punisher storyline is happening. So put on your seatbelts.
Or not, maybe it's just a red herring.
Well, no, the Punisher thing's happening.
I just like how the journalist in you, like, just fully came out for a second. You were like, hey, wait a second.
What's the story?
We got a scoop here.
We'll talk about this offline.
Like the Kim Possible, what's the sitch?
No, it's fine. I get that. I respect that. All right.
But I would also like to say I like Jessica Jones. I would say quite a bit more than Daredevil.
Really?
But also, it's that good.
For those of you who are like me that don't know who the fuck Jessica Jones is or what she does,
I didn't know who she was.
You don't need to know who she is.
Yeah.
Okay. But she's a superhero in the Marvel universe.
But she's a superhero.
What's the TLDR about her series?
I'll give it to you. She's a superhero who stopped being a superhero,
a retired superhero,
and just wants to do something with her powers, but she's so traumatized that she just can only do as much as she can.
That sounds very powerful.
And she's a PI, and she's an alcoholic, and she's kind of has her own mental issues and stuff like that. But it's really good. I think it's actually better to watch it without having an understanding of who
It really
Jessica
is.
because I didn't really have a good idea of it, and I had to look it up after the fact after I watched the season and appreciate
Honestly,
the show more.
as somebody who's read their source, I think you're right, Logan. This is better than the source.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's done so well. It's presented in a way that's really entertaining, and the acting, the writing, the shooting.
I think Kristen Ritter had it in her to like be that.
She's great in it
because she was great in Don't Trust to Be in Apartment 23. Like she's been great in everything she's done, but
She was really powerful in Breaking Bad, I thought.
I didn't think she had this in her, and it's amazing.
Yep.
Like Marvel's really good at just finding that like young talent that they can sign all these contracts and developing. Because was Chris Evans a draw before Captain America?
Not as like he was just a pretty boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Or even before Fantastic Four.
Well, he's in Perfect Score with Black Widow.
That's a little bit of attention. Let's reel it in.
Is this your first time on this show?
So speaking of stuff that we like, we got Black Friday coming up. Now,
Yes.
we wanted to sort of set this up as a sort of Black Friday guide.
Oh,
a little
please.
rundown. I don't, as a matter of principle and being lazy and disorganized, I do not participate in Black Friday. Do you if you got to do you. But I want to ask you guys, what is the hot holiday item this year, and how are you spending Black Friday?
Furby.
Furbies.
Yeah.
Furbies and Fitbits. Elliot, what about you?
For me, like Black Friday, I don't really buy like the hottest item on Black Friday. What I do is I do not buy a lot of the new run Blu-rays and DVDs during the year. I buy them all on Black Friday because they're marked down to like $6, $4, $2. So like I've already calculated it. I'm gonna buy $144 of DVDs on Black Friday, but that would normally cost me, a conservative estimate, $500.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna be loading up, and like it's great because you go, nobody's looking at the Blu-rays, so I just
Everyone's looking at the TVs and the whatever.
I stroll up when the damn thing opens. Everybody's lined up. I just stroll up, walk, get my Blu-rays, and go home. I might buy a Surface for Black Friday because I have a desktop computer. Because I love having a desktop computer. And my iPad I got a few years ago was sort of crapping out on me. And I think the Surface is a pretty strong competitor right now, and they're pretty cheap. And I can get a Surface, like a really good one, for about $400.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about getting a Surface, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Although I don't have a new system yet because I'm not going to buy one for another few years. So I like to play all my games. But if you really want a PS4 or an Xbox One, a lot of these places are going to be running a $300 deal for these consoles that were $500, $400 when they came out, with a game, with maybe a few games.
Yeah.
So pick up a $300 PS4, Xbox One if you want one.
Those don't run out immediately.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat. I go after some of the Blu-rays that I don't get because I review Blu-rays, so I actually get a lot free throughout the year. But the ones that I don't get, I tend to pick up on Black Friday. This year, I don't really need a 55-inch TV, but if I come across a really good deal on one that I can afford, because I've been looking at some of the prices, and like if I can not have to fight someone for a $350 55-inch TV, I might pull the trigger.
That's a good
and
deal.
get it.
I mean, 55. I got one a few years ago, man.
Yeah.
It is nice to have one.
Yeah,
I
the thing
couldn't
about
have it.
Black Friday is everybody kind of goes after the doorbusters and like the $150 50-inch TV, and like don't go after that. You won't.
Yeah, it's stupid.
You won't
It's
get it.
usually like a 720p piece of shit or something.
Yeah, that's true, too.
That and you have to fight off a lot of people for it. Like do kind of what Elliot said. Stroll in after it opens. Don't buy the super lowest price ones because those will be gone. Actually, look a couple steps higher, and it's still a good TV, still a really good deal, and nobody buys them.
Yeah, and to echo that again, like I wait a year after a video game comes out to like buy it. So like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was $60 this time last year. It's gonna be $15 at Walmart on Black Friday, and I'm just gonna stroll in, buy it for $15, and save myself $45 in the course of a year. I mean, that's also just a function of if you're like an adult, you have a job, you don't usually have time to play that much stuff anyway. So like you can just sort of wait and just save your money, and then put it in a nice 401k, with a well-diversified stock portfolio if we're going to be old.
Okay, Dad.
All right. Any other? Now, what about? Should we just skip ahead to like? Do we just do Cyber Monday?
Cyber Monday. I tell you, that makes a good point. If you are really in the full Zen Black Friday mode, you can just wait. If you have an Amazon Prime membership, just on Thanksgiving all night, and you have to stay up. So put a podcast on, maybe put Inside the Locker Room, maybe put Bracelet on, maybe put Giant Bomb on, and just wait for these daily flash deals to pop up. And what Amazon will do is they will undercut by about $1 or $2 every one of the deals at all the big box retailers. And so if you don't want to go out, you don't have to. And don't wait till Monday, though. You got to be up on Thursday, Friday. You got to be up on your game because you can get a lot of good shit. And you just sit there and you click. Because, like, I've already gotten some good stuff already. Like, I got 2 lamps, like these really nice, like, daylight lamps that mimic daylight. Because, like, I get seasonal affective disorder, so I really did sort of need it. And, like, they were regular $200. They were $200 on every other website. Amazon had them marked down for 10 minutes only to $30 a piece. I bought 2 of them. I got one in my car right now. One's in my office.
I would also say, as an aside to that, if you're a video gamer, specifically if you have a PC, Steam always has amazing sales.
Yes.
I've got to the point now where I've bought almost pretty much everything that I want on PC. To the point where I don't have enough time to play all these games that I own. But because these games are ridiculously cheap, you're going to be getting amazing games on Steam for like $2-3, like 60, 70, 90% off.
Yeah, and you make a good point. If you want to watch the best Steam deals, there's a subreddit on Reddit called just type in Google R game deals, and just there are people that, like, it's their job. They just post the best deals. Constantly. You just refresh that page. You're going to find the best deals. And also, if you want to find just the best Black Friday deals, I would follow Kaninja on Kotaku.com. It's like a Gawker website. I don't like Gawker, the main page, but whoever does that deal website, they're on their shit because they get you the best deals.
This is deals.kinja.com.
Deals.kinja.com.
Kinja's basically their
I also forgot one thing I'm definitely picking up. The first movie of this franchise had been available on Blu-ray, but not the second for the entire time Blu-ray has been around. I don't know why. But you can finally get Bad Boys 2 on Blu-ray.
What? Yes!
And
I have to get that.
It only comes in the franchise set with both movies. But why the hell wouldn't you just get both movies?
They're throwing boats at us, man.
Yeah.
I also don't have a Blu-ray player. So,
what?
Yeah.
Buy one and then buy Bad Boys 2.
No, go buy a PS4. You have a Blu-ray player.
But I already have a PC, and that's what I play all my games on. So.
Well, buy an old PS3. That'll play your Blu-ray.
Yeah, but again, I don't have that physical media. I don't really care about.
Oh,
You can put Hulu and shit on your PS4.
I have a Roku.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you just got all the answers, don't you?
I do. I got shit figured out, man.
Got this shit on lock, man.
All right, so
see, this is a man with a fiance. She's like, this clutter's gonna go away.
No, I actually, it's me that's the one clearing out this clutter.
No, it's funny. Like the Ghostbusters Lego set, like that advertisement is coming out on January 1st, 2016, and I'm buying that motherfucker. Like my girlfriend says, we're probably gonna end up getting married in a little bit.
Breaking news! This is a scoop right here.
You guys engaged?
We're not engaged yet, but like we're heading that way.
Should you listen to this podcast?
Yeah. Okay. Like we've talked about it. Like so, like we sort of joke about like, oh, she gets really nervous at all this stuff I have, and so when it came out, she was just like, no. She didn't even reference it. I was like, but come on.
It's a good woman. Knows you. Knows her audience.
It's time for our NFL picks.
All right,
guys. We're gonna make this quick. We're gonna make this engaged. And we're gonna pull this off. I know we're all tired. I know this is the home stretch, but our fans demand this of us.
we have 2 viewers currently.
It's 3 in the morning.
How? We didn't even advertise this thing.
2, 3, 4. All right, JC, what do you got?
All right, so let's go Philly. These 3 Thursday night games because it's Thanksgiving. Philly at Detroit. Detroit +1.
I think Philly's gonna get more reps. Detroit is particularly hapless, even though they won 2 in a row. I think Detroit wins. I think Philadelphia wins 13-19.
I'm gonna give it to Detroit.
Yeah, I'm leaning Detroit since it's at Detroit.
Yeah, I like the way Detroit's been trending. I think the pressure is about to get the chip. So I'm going Detroit.
The chip's gonna break.
Carolina at Dallas. The line did move. Like we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Dallas is now 1-point dog.
That still amazes me that it's that close.
Yeah, the line.
But 3-17 against a 10-0 team.
Yeah, the line actually opened up. The Cowboys favored by 1.5, but the line has since moved. So
I tell you what,
Cowboys are now 1-point dogs.
I'm going to this game.
Oh, yeah?
I'm taking my uncle, 70 years old, in town from Mexico, has never been to a Cowboys game. My fun Cowboys fan. I'm taking
Nice.
2 uncles. We're not going to lose this game. How do you win if you're the Dallas Cowboys, and why haven't you been winning? It's really not that complicated. You got to have 24 to 34 points, and you have to allow 15 to 21 points. And you do that consistently, you're going to be fine. I think this will be a little bit of a shootout. I think this is a talented, desperate team against a team that's coasting and a little bit on its laurels. Now, people are not respecting.
5 touchdowns last
People
week.
are not. What I'm saying, I mean, literally resting. Like, the stakes are really low for Carolina
That's
right
true.
now, and I don't think that people are respecting how good Cam Newton is. I think people still think that this is a situation where he's going to run. I mean, Cam Newton's playing with 5. This is a guy made a joke on Twitter. He's basically playing with 5 Leonard Hankersons. His supporting cast, but you just can't stop him. I do believe in the Dallas defensive line. I think he can be physical. I think he can slow him down just enough that Cam is going to have to force a few things. Dallas secondary's beat up, but at the end of the day, I just don't see how Romo doesn't get to 34. So give me Dallas 34-27.
I mean, give me Carolina 44-16.
That's
Uh,
right.
I don't think it's going to be close.
I'm gonna go Carolina.
I don't think even with Romo back, even in Dallas, and actually the Cowboys haven't even been all that great at home. I think that Carolina is just rolling too much right now. Cam is doing too good.
Yeah.
So,
Gonna dab on them.
yeah.
I just think.
And I'm a Cowboys fan, but yeah, like Carolina's got to win this.
2 teams trending in opposite directions. Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 9.
Yeah, I mean that's a really generous line.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to what kind of weapons Jay Cutler has available to him.
Chicago covered last week against Denver.
Yeah, Alshon Jeffrey, if he plays, I'm going to be very comfortable with what's going on there. I don't know. I'd be very surprised to see Green Bay cover that kind of a spread, especially just because Jay Cutler can chuck it and he can keep it close. So I like Chicago to cover. I like Green Bay to win 23-20.
I like Chicago to cover.
Yeah, Chicago cover. Yeah,
What was the line again?
9.
9.
it's too high.
Yeah, that's a big line. I
Green
think
Bay got a surprisingly good game out of Eddie Lacy that they're probably not going to get again.
yeah, I think Green Bay's going to win, but that's a big line. So yeah, I think I have to go with you guys and let that cover.
Miami at the Jets. Jets favored by 3.5.
Yeah, again, what have I said for months and months and months? Ryan Tannehill is a bad quarterback. He's been in the league for 4 years.
You're just trying to press my button.
We should have seen more by now. And again, this is a quarterback that has to complete passes to the sideline, and it has to scramble, and it has to rely on Lamar Miller. He can't throw the ball downfield. Until he does, I'm not going to pick him. Give me the Jets big.
Give me the Dolphins. I think they're going to surprise. I think they're going to surprise themselves. I think it's just going to be one of those fluke games.
Yeah.
No logic behind it. I just sort of have a feeling.
Taking the Jets. If there were 3, I would be a lot more comfortable. Or if it was 3, I'd be more comfortable with Miami. 3.5, I still like the Jets.
I'm going to go Miami. We're going to go 50-50 at the line on this page. So.
New Orleans at the surprisingly has a shot at winning the division. Houston Texans.
What?
They're tied for first, 5-5.
How fucking bad is that division?
The TJ Yates train is leaving the
Oh my
station.
God. What the fuck is going on?
That is hilarious. I didn't even actually realize that.
They've won 4 of their last 5.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a Christmas miracle.
I gotta go with the Texans because
Texans are favored by 3.
I gotta go with the Texans because New Orleans, entire state of Louisiana, sports wise is a dumpster fire right now.
Is it in Houston?
It is in Houston.
I think the expectation is that Houston comes out and continues sort of this weird run of beating the Bengals 10-6 on Sunday, or excuse me, on Monday Night Football, following that up with a win against a decent Jets team. But I'm going to go the other way. I just think the Drew Brees Express, I think there's too many. I think he'll dink and dunk them to death. Yeah. The Saints by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Saints got to win this.
Yeah, I said I was going to go against Houston all year. And then this past week, they're screwing me lately. But I'll do it again. I'm gonna go Saints.
And then see what you hear from me is a real Saints fan who doubts the Saints all the time. Because you're always like, they're going to go back to the bad old times.
It's what fans do.
Next game.
Giants at the Washington Professional Football Team. Redskins +2.
Giants.
Yeah, Washington is a bad football team with a backup quarterback. You're gonna have some good days. You're gonna have some bad days with a backup quarterback. But that's just a junior varsity team. The New York Giants are an adult team. I don't know how great they are, but I do know that they're a high-moving, fast, fluid team.
And Ruben Randall's healthy now. They got a good receiving core.
I'd be very surprised to see Washington stay in it. I like the Giants to get up to 65 and take control of that division.
Yeah, I like the Giants.
Giants.
Yeah, the Redskins are the epitome of a dumpster fire. The Giants got to win this.
Oakland at Tennessee. Tennessee +2.
Well, it's disappointing because we thought Oakland would be a little bit better. Oakland had a couple of showcase games to sort of prove that it belonged in the playoff talk. Now Oakland kind of sits in a really middling, tough place. They haven't been able to get Mark through the ball in 2 weeks. I'm not seeing enough volume out of Derek Carr. I feel like I'd like to see some more attempts there. But Tennessee has a problem protecting the quarterback. Marcus Mariota just doesn't have too much downfield to work with. I think the Raiders by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I like Raiders too.
Minnesota at Atlanta. Atlanta -2.
Ooh, give me Atlanta.
Well, again, this is, just like that Colts game, coming off a bye at home. You have them down, and then you throw a touchdown pass to Jaquel Jackson that goes the other way. I think Atlanta is falling apart a little bit, and I'll tell you what, I think Minnesota is just a better football team, a better defense, and they can control the clock, control the game. But I like Atlanta to get it done this week by 3.
Yeah, I'm there too. Atlanta by at least a field goal.
I like Minnesota. I don't know why. No real reason behind it.
Good enough.
You said Atlanta at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay at Indianapolis. Indy -3.
Yeah, James Woods is coming on strong, coming off of a 5 touchdown pass performance. Matt Hasselbeck still back at quarterback. Indy, though, just kind of finds ways to get it done. I'm going to take Indianapolis.
I don't know. I feel like Tampa Bay is on an arc right
They have
now.
with Hasselbeck.
They have with Hasselbeck. He's undefeated as a starter. He's just a good quarterback. He's a Super Bowl quarterback that can play well, that has some nice pieces around him. And I just think Tampa Bay is just, when you're the Buccaneers, you're going to have good days and bad days. They've had 2 good days in a row. I like the Colts.
I'm gonna take that dog too. I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna regret it, but I think that I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay here.
That's a Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay, my bad. St. Louis at Cincinnati. Cincinnati -9.
Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's lost 2 in a row, 8-2. But that said, Rams have lost 2 ugly games in a row. I thought we hope they'd be better at this point. I think it is what it is.
Case Keenum's the guy now.
Certainly the Bengals are going to win. I'd like the Bengals to win 24-13, so I'll take them to cover.
Okay. I think I don't normally like lines that big, but I'll take Cincy.
I'll go Cincy.
All right.
Buffalo at Kansas City. Kansas City -4.
Ooh. Well, Buffalo showed some heart here, but it also showed that it's a team that just can't move the ball. The Chiefs are, coming on strong. They've won back-to-back big games. San Diego, Denver with the division.
Cover a lethal weapon.
I like Kansas City to get it done big.
Yeah, and Kansas City is a really tough place to play too, so I think that you got to go with them.
Yeah, again,
Kansas
Chiefs
City.
started off 1-5. Chiefs are 5-5 right now. They've won 4 in a row. This is a borderline elite team. Has a lot to play for.
Isn't
Chiefs,
Kansas
yeah.
City in
I like
Missouri?
Chiefs. It is.
Okay, making sure.
It's also
Yeah.
in Kansas, but
There's like a
this one isn't.
Okay.
San Diego, Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored by 4.
Give me Jacksonville. Like Bortles has been lighting it up. Like, okay, give me Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's not gonna be close.
Which I never thought I'd ever say that.
Next game.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with that too. I don't know.
Yeah, San Diego's bad.
These
But
teams
so
suck.
is Jacksonville too. So
These teams suck. I really don't want to think about this game. Let's
Yeah. Wait till the Monday night game. Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco plus 10.5.
Arizona.
we get this game in prime time so many times. The 49ers are a complete mess. There's just nothing there. This is a shame. This is one of the great teams in the NFC that was just completely stripped down of its parts. And now Arizona's good. Arizona, 30-13.
Red Sea, baby. Red Nation.
All right, I think we did it.
We got more.
It was 3 more.
Oh shit! I apologize.
Pittsburgh at Seattle minus 4.5. Seattle minus 4.5.
This might be the game of the week.
Oh,
Two desperate teams that have to win that can ill afford a loss. Seattle's at home, so we want to talk 12th man. But I want to talk better quarterback. You know, Big Ben is the guy that can come in and throw 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Russell Wilson can't do that. Look out for Thomas Rawls to take control of this game with 25-plus carries. Can they dictate the tempo? Can they keep Big Ben off the field? Now, Legion Boom isn't stopping anybody in the fourth quarter. Give me Big Ben and the Steelers on the road by 4.
Yeah, give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Legion of Boom is broken, so I'm going to take Antonio Brown. all day with that.
No, give me the Seahawks at home.
I gotta go with Seattle here. I don't really know why. Yeah, it's another really iffy one there.
Yeah.
I don't much like Pittsburgh either, but I think Seattle's gonna squeak it out.
This is a rematch of Super Bowl 40, by the way, 10 years later. So this is one that Seattle would like. That was a controversial game with a lot of shitty calls.
New England at Denver. Denver plus 3.5.
Oh, this is a shame. I don't think we're going to get the Brady Manning thing, right?
Nope.
Sounds
Nope.
like we're definitely not going to get that. That is
kind of a small line too.
heartbreaking. I think without Peyton Manning, Brock Osweiler is not going to be Tom Brady.
He sounds like a vegetable dish.
Yeah, I think we're all Patriots there. And,
No. Give me Denver.
Oh, okay.
Give me Denver. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. I think the Broncos defense is going to come through.
No, I'm gonna go pass.
Finally, Monday night, and the who's who gives a shit. Matt Schaub and the Ravens versus a fresh off the rehab wagon, Johnny Manziel. He's partying here in Austin this past weekend.
Let me guess, West 6.
I mean, Cleveland's minus 2.5 if you care about this. This is going to be an awful game.
Yeah, I don't know. Just 2 disorganized teams that are bad. Javorius Allen, it's going to be a showcase game for him. Excuse me, JC, I just touched your feet with my feet. Let's think about this critically for a second, though.
Do you really have to?
No.
We're going to think about this game more than the coaches.
I think these teams are both really bad. I think the question is who can protect the football more. I like the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens.
Do I have to pick anyone?
Only because
I'm gonna go Browns just because in general I like the Browns, and it's not just because Johnny Manziel. I was a fan of the Browns before.
I remember how terrible Matt Schaub was, and so I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I guess the Browns.
The only loser here is the viewer.
There's
And
I want to watch that game, or at least have it on the background while I play Fallout 4 or something.
There we go. So is that the? Are we towards the end there, Ramon?
that's the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for staying with us and rocking
But
with us.
what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to go to the Cowboys game.
I am cooking my very first ever Thanksgiving turkey for my future in-law. So
with the parents that came down, and then we're gonna do some shopping. Be terrible people.
I'm going to Houston, and my girlfriend's coming home to my parents for the first time.
Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah, but I hope everyone else out there has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Safe, happy Thanksgiving.
We're thankful for all of you who listen to us.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to us.
Big shout out to Chaos Bulldog.
Shout out to everybody. Yeah. Everybody get a shout out.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
It's a real pleasure to do this. Everybody take care. This is Inside the Locker. Catch us. That was fun.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Shit, guys. That was good.
Not practice.
We did our